Lynn, our legislature is among the many legislatures across the nation who have taken up the HBPA. Although conditions now are worse than they were the last time we took this up, we are far more optimistic this time around, principally because we believe that this time around we have a White House that's actually capable of listening. As we've discussed with you in the past, we state officials are much closer to our constituents than our colleagues are in Washington. And we often are the ones that are the first to sound the call to arms. Look at what Andy Cuomo is doing in New York State. It is what no member of Congress has been prepared to do, even though they were in a position to do it months ago. But basically, my question to you is this: what is next? You clearly know what you have to do, and you intend to do it. But what can we do, and what can our constituents do to help? And if Lynn doesn't answer this question, John, I'll tell you.
Very simply, the problem is this problem goes right to President Barack Obama. What does he need to do his job? Because it's only from the President of the United States, not because he embodies some magical power, but because of the institution. We as a people, to act in the national interest, must rally about a complex of institutions of which the President of the United States is the apex. Every part of our system of government has its apex the presidency of the United States. Now, the presidency is not necessarily the person who occupies the office. We're still fumigating the office from Bush. But the point is, if you want to do something, you really have to either have a president or try to improvise the effect of a president. But if you want to do something like we have to do now, you need to have the president take the lead. And he has to be supported. You can't say, hey, Mr. President, you go out while we're ducking here in the foxhole. You go out and fight the war. No, his job is not, that's not his job. His job is to represent the people of the United States as the chief executive officer. If he says, we're going to do this, and he mobilizes behind it and gets the forces behind him, it can work. The president that's his function. That's what you're supposed to elect him for. And once in a while, you actually get a president. You get something usually, like somebody's garbage that's been dumped in your backyard. But when you get a real president, or one who's determined to be a real president, that's it. So it's up to President Obama to do that. If he does it, if he decides he's going to push it, he's committed to it, and he gets his people in the room and he beats them up. See, what he has, another problem he has. He still has an unresolved administration. It's obvious, anyone looking at it. This is not yet really a coherent team. There are dissonant noises here and there. Or if they're not dissonant noises, they're not quite in step together yet. So you don't have a clear direction into the president from around him. He's not sure. I'm not sure he's well informed in all cases, things like that. I'm concerned about that sort of thing. But nonetheless, my view is you want to do this job, you have to get the President of the United States to be the vehicle that makes it work. I don't care about the problem in the Congress. If the President of the United States, minus Mrs. Pelosi, makes a decision to move, he's got enough clout to take the rebels in the Congress and make a mess of anybody in the Congress who tries to suppress what he's talking about. He may get legitimate resistance, but if he calls the clarion call and says, this is an enemy of what we're trying to do for this nation, get this woman out of here, put her on her broom and tell her to fly away,